Girlfriends. Every movie and TV show has one. Someone who's supposed to love, motivate, or make life better for the person they're with. But not all girlfriends are created equal. Some of them exist only to make life harder for the person they're with or straight up destroy it. And today, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Characters who were terrible girlfriends. So sit back, relax, and watch till the end. Because this list is only gonna get worse. Let's start off with Vanessa from B-Movie. Yeah. B-Movie. One of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. And somehow the talking bee isn't even the weirdest part. The weirdest part is Vanessa. She is one of the worst excuses for a girlfriend I've ever seen. Because hear me out, this woman left her boyfriend for a bee, a literal insect. So before she started fooling around with a talking insect, Vanessa had a whole human boyfriend, Ken. He's a normal dude. Yeah, he's kind of dorky and way too competitive, sure, but he's fine. He's got a job, or at least he's looking for one. He's just living his life and wants simple things like yogurt night with his girlfriend.
Why is yogurt night so difficult?
And Vanessa just emotionally dumps him for Barry the bee. Not a guy named Barry, a bee named Barry. She meets this bee, has one conversation with him, and suddenly Ken is out. She's spending all her time with Barry, laughing at his little bee jokes, taking him on outings, letting him live in her apartment. Bro, if my girlfriend started hanging out with an insect more than me, I'd be concerned too. And sure, at first, Vanessa finding out that bees can talk is wild. Anyone would be shocked. But within like 24 hours of knowing Barry exists, she's helping him sue all of humanity for stealing honey. One day. She knew him for one day. And she already agrees with him, decides humans are evil and greedy, and helps him take down the entire human species in court without asking a single question or thinking about the consequences. Like, what? She immediately sides with the bees with frickin' eyebrows without hesitation. And the way she gaslights Ken throughout the movie just gets on my nerves because this man did nothing wrong. Ken is allergic to bees. He could literally die. So when a bee starts living in his girlfriend's apartment and she starts spending all her time with that bee, planning to sue humans, he's understandably like,
what?
He's terrified. He's uncomfortable. He's watching his relationship go straight down the drain because of an insect. And Vanessa acts like he's the problem. She makes him feel crazy. She questions him. She gets mad at him for being upset that there's a bee in the house. One he's allergic to, for God's sake. She even asks him,
well, why does his life have any less value than yours?
Shut up, bitch!
Woman, are you insane? He's your boyfriend and he's allergic. He could literally die from an allergic reaction. What the heck is wrong with you? And then, oh my God, she rips up his brochure right in front of him and his guest just to save Barry. Then there's this scene where Ken comes home from work and sees his own girlfriend having dinner dates with a bee. She lets him sit in his chair. She lets him borrow his razor and she acts like it's nothing. Like this is normal. What the hell? No wonder he crashes out. Who wouldn't? That is elite tier gaslighting. And that's not even the worst part. Because the thing that makes me hate Vanessa even more is what happens after. When Barry wins the lawsuit, pollination stops and the entire ecosystem starts collapsing. She, the same woman who helped Barry win, who supported him through the lawsuit, who pushed him to go through with it, suddenly acts like this is all Barry's fault. Like, are you kidding me?
What?
She was there. She helped him do this. She told him he was right. She broke up with her boyfriend for this. But now that the consequences are happening, she acts like she had nothing to do with it. Look, this whole movie is weird. And the only normal person in it is Ken. And he was right about literally everything. He's just a regular guy. He's not trying to start beef. He just wants to live his life without bees in his house. Is that really too much to ask for, huh, Vanessa? Meanwhile, Vanessa is out here treating a talking bee like it's a normal Tuesday. Like this isn't the most insane thing that's ever happened. Ken reacts exactly how any sane human would react. He's scared. He's confused. He doesn't understand why his girlfriend is choosing a bee over him. And the movie treats him like the villain, like he's the unreasonable one. Bro, if I found out insects could talk and my girl immediately started an interspecies situationship, I'd lose my mind too. Swear to God, this girl is weird as hell. All right, moving on. We've got Jenny from Forrest Gump, someone who I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Okay, look, I know Jenny had a rough childhood. I'm not saying she didn't. The movie makes it very clear that she went through genuinely traumatic stuff as a kid. I get it, and she was literally Forrest's only friend when they were little, and that's sweet and all. But bro, as an adult, Jenny Curran was an absolute menace to Forrest's life. This woman spent the entire movie emotionally manipulating, using, and straight up abandoning a disabled man who loved her unconditionally. When Jenny comes back into Forrest's life as an adult, they hang out. Things start getting a little steamy. She even lets him see her knock. And then she does not give a shit when he catches feelings. Bro, Forrest doesn't understand casual relationships. He doesn't do no strings attached. Jenny knows this. She's known him his entire life. She knows exactly how his brain works, and she does it anyway. And that's where the real problem starts. Because the thing that makes her one of the worst love interests in cinematic history is that Jenny only wants Forrest around when her life is falling apart. Remember when she's working at that club? She's getting harassed by drunk guys, and the bouncers are doing an absolutely shit job. Forrest shows up, sees what's happening, and saves her. Instead of being grateful, she gets mad, yells at him, then abandons him on the side of the road and hops into some random dude's truck. Are you serious? Forrest just saved you from getting assaulted, and your response is to ditch him and get into a stranger's vehicle? Fast forward to when Forrest comes back from Vietnam as a war hero. Medal of Honor, the whole deal. He reunites with Jenny, and guess what? Her boyfriend is hitting her right in front of him, so Forrest does what any decent human being would do. After Forrest saves her from the abusive boyfriend, they have a nice night together. You think maybe she's finally gonna choose him. She goes right back to the abusive jerk, leaves Forrest again. I mean, how blind do you have to be? This man, despite having a condition, is trying his hardest. He's been there for her through everything, and she keeps choosing literally anyone else. After this, Jenny comes back again into Forrest's life. They spend time together. Things seem good. Forrest proposes. She says no, friend zones him again. Then she sleeps with him out of guilt, and the next morning she bails. No note, no explanation, just gone. Forrest wakes up alone, devastated. This man just wanted to love her, and she used him one last time and dipped. And after, I don't know, 4 years or something, she randomly sends him a letter to meet her and drops the bomb that she has his child. Yeah, 4 years. 4 damn years. She didn't even bother to tell him. She hid an entire child from this man. A man who would have been one of the best fathers on the planet. And honestly, is that even Forrest's kid? Because if we're talking Jenny's track record of hoeing around, that kid could be anyone's. That guy, this guy, that a-hole, some random hippie, who knows? But after years of rejection, abandonment, and emotional destruction, Jenny finally decides she's ready to be with Forrest and asks him to marry her. Yeah, right. And when does this happen? After she gets raped by every other guy, gets sick, finds out Forrest is rich, and realizes she needs someone to take care of her son. Then they get married. Forrest finally gets the life he always wanted, and then she dies. And what is Forrest left with? The woman he loved his entire life gone. A child he never got to raise, now his responsibility alone. And decades of emotional trauma. So romantic. As you can see, Jenny used Forrest as a safety net. She rejected him over and over, hid his own child from him, and only committed when she had no other options left. Meanwhile, Forrest gave her unconditional love, protection, and loyalty for decades. And what did he get in return?
He's got AIDS!
And a kid who might not even be his. Next up, we have Amber from Invincible, one of the most hated side characters and easily one of the worst superhero girlfriends I've ever seen. And I know by now everyone knows how badly written her character is, or at least was, but it wasn't always like this. In season 1, when Amber first showed up, I was like, she's actually kind of cool. She stands up to that bully. She makes the first move with Mark. She's got that whole confident, independent thing going on. I was thinking, finally, a solid love interest in a superhero show. But boy, was I wrong. So here's the thing. From Amber's perspective, Mark looks like the worst boyfriend ever. He's disappearing mid-date. Even on their first date or study date, he bails to handle some superhero stuff. He's missing things he said he'd show up to. He's literally vanishing whenever shit hits the fan. And yeah, it's kind of messed up from Amber's point of view. I get it. And it happens several times. That would drive anyone insane too. But the things Amber does instead of having a real conversation with Mark are just beyond acceptable. For example, when they go on this college visit trip and a zombie robot suddenly attacks the campus, everything goes to hell. Mark obviously disappears because, you know, people are in danger. Amber feels abandoned, which yeah, is understandable because no one wants their partner to just run off in the middle of a life or death situation and leave them alone to deal with an evil cyborg. Yeah, not exactly a good look for Mark. And they do get into a fight because of that. But then this girl goes to a college party and starts flirting with another dude, full on ready to jump ship. And the only reason she didn't cheat, the only reason, is because that guy mentioned he already had a girlfriend. I'm sorry, what? So your backup plan when your boyfriend disappoints you is to immediately find a replacement? replacement, that's the strategy, that's fucked up. So Mark finally breaks down and apologizes. He's taking full responsibility, saying he'll do better, genuinely trying. And then he tells her the truth to explain why he's been like this since they started dating, and to basically let her know that he's out here saving the planet, fighting monsters, getting his ribs adjusted on a weekly basis, and risking his life so people don't die. And you probably thought, yeah, that's it, now she'll understand, right? Instead, she says,
I know you're a superhero.
You know? You know?
I'm not an idiot. I figured it out weeks ago.
excuse me, weeks? She knew? She knew he was out there saving lives, stopping aliens, preventing actual apocalypses, but she still cried when he ran off to save people? Then what were those tears for, if she already knew? Bro, I would've... This girl knew why he kept disappearing. She knew he was protecting people. She knew he wasn't just ditching her. And she still made him feel like the scum of the earth for it. That's diabolical. And then she has the audacity to frame it like he lied to her. He has a secret identity. Do you even know what that is? That's a survival mechanism. Superhero identities are secret, so supervillains don't show up at your house. That's the whole point, you dumbass. Mark here is juggling high school, a relationship, and literal world-ending threats. And Amber's big concern is that he didn't tell her his secret identity soon enough, even after already knowing that Mark is going through it. He's out here getting thrown through buildings, watching people die, carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. She knew all this the whole time, and somehow she still makes every conversation about her feelings. Like, I'm not saying her feelings don't matter, but maybe, just maybe, when your boyfriend is dealing with intergalactic threats on a regular basis, you could show a tiny bit of empathy. That said, I'm also not saying Mark was a perfect boyfriend either. He wasn't. He messed up. He should have communicated better. But Amber, she punished him for saving lives. She almost cheated instead of having a conversation. She knew his secret and still played the victim. She gaslit him for protecting people. She showed zero empathy for what he was going through. Amber had every opportunity to be a supportive partner to someone dealing with unimaginable pressure, and instead, she made Mark's life even worse. That being said, the only good thing I can say about her is that she actually changes. Yeah. Who would have thought? In season 2, once the truth about Mark's identity is out and they've already worked through the season 1 drama, her character finally starts to grow. She becomes more understanding of Mark's superhero responsibilities. She shows real empathy for what he's going through after his father literally destroys half of Chicago. And instead of constantly confronting him at every opportunity, her attitude shifts. She becomes calmer, more patient, and actually supportive. But in season 1, oh my God, she was one of the most toxic, manipulative characters I have ever seen. And last up, we've got Mary Jane from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. And I think she might actually be one of the worst girlfriends in cinema history. She is literally a walking red flag from beginning to end across 3 movies. From the start, Mary Jane cannot stay loyal to anyone she dates. She actively flirts with other dudes while being in relationships. She's not only bad for Peter, but for every guy she dates. In the first movie, she dates Flash, the high school bully, which already says a lot about her terrible dating choices, all while giving Peter those looks and flirting with him every chance she gets. Then after her breakup, she dates Harry, Peter's best friend, the guy who's been nothing but good to her, while she keeps Peter emotionally attached the entire time. She's out here having full romantic tension moments with Peter, while Harry's buying her gifts and taking her to fancy places. And this isn't even a one-time thing. This is how she always acts.
She belongs to the streets.
She is never fully present in any relationship. Okay, so maybe she didn't physically cheat every single time, but emotionally, bro, she is gone. She dates Harry while being emotionally hooked onto Peter. She kisses Spider-Man upside down in the rain, who at that point is basically a stranger, while still dating Harry. Later, she's about to lock lips with Peter in the hospital after he rizzes her up, and only stops because Harry walks in. And then, at the end of the movie, Mary Jane goes and kisses Peter at Norman Osborn's funeral, her ex-boyfriend's father, over his grave. Like, seriously, couldn't you pick literally any other place? Poor Harry, man. Lost both his father and his girl to his best friend. In the second movie, she gets engaged to John Jameson while still being in love with Peter, and she tries to kiss Peter while wearing another man's engagement ring. Mary Jane is never actually with the person she's with. She's always thinking about someone else. She's always one conversation away from leaving. She stays in relationships she doesn't really want just to keep her options open. She's unfaithful in every single relationship, and she does it again and again throughout the entire trilogy. And the worst part is, she she only wants Peter when she can't have him. The moment he starts to move on, she pulls him right back in. Every time Peter starts to distance himself or focus on his own life, suddenly she wants him. In Spider-Man 2, Peter is finally starting to let her go. He's accepted that she's engaged. He's trying to move forward. And what does she do? She invites him into a cafe, corners him, and forces a kiss. While wearing the engagement ring from John Jameson, the guy she later humiliates by running out on at their wedding, she gets engaged to him while still being in love with Peter. She emotionally cheats on him throughout the entire engagement. And then on the wedding day, not before, not after, she abandons him. Not even face to face. She sends a note. A note. That's some fucked up shit. Okay, so after 2 entire movies of Mary Jane bouncing between men playing mind games and emotionally destroying everyone in her path, you'd think she would finally show some growth. Like maybe she'd be loyal this time. Maybe she'd actually support Peter the way he supported her for years, right? After her bad Broadway review and getting fired from her show because she sucks, when Peter tries to comfort her and relate to her, she leaves mid-date while Peter was literally ready to propose. Peter has spent years sacrificing everything for her, his friendships, his own safety, his mental health, for this woman. And the second things get hard for her, she leaves. But then it gets even worse. She goes to Harry's place for, I don't know, emotional support or whatever, and ends up kissing him while she's still with Peter. Even after knowing their history, knowing how complicated it is, she knows how much it would destroy both of them, and she does it anyway. One moment, she acts like she cares about Peter. The next, she's making out with Harry. She keeps bouncing back and forth between 2 best friends like it's her favorite pastime. And the thing that really makes her such a terrible girlfriend to Peter is that she serves no real purpose in his life other than being someone who needs to be saved in every single movie. She's kidnapped, attacked, dangled off buildings, held hostage, thrown off bridges over and over again, and every time Peter drops everything to save her. He risks his life, he sacrifices his relationships, and he does it without hesitation because he loves her, but she never truly supports him, never respects his sacrifices, and never changes at all. I don't know how Peter managed to put up with her bullshit for 3 damn movies and still ended up with her. If I were him, I would have just...
Please! Someone! I'm going to die!
Anyways, those were the characters who were terrible girlfriends and love interests. Let me know in the comments if I missed any that you think should be on this list. I'll add them if I make a part 2. And that's it for today. See you in the next one.